evening, good night, whatever. Eric Arnold here in the Sports Barn. July 4th, 2020, take two. I'll tell you what, I guess, over 100 videos I've made, and we still had these ridiculous technical issues. Tonight, before I headed out to have a bite to eat and have 1 or 3 or 10 beers, shot a video, and it was good. It was good. I said what I wanted to say. I said it tight, concise. I was persuasive. Go check the video. It jams. Froze. Video's no good. Video's no good. I got to start all over again. And that's like the third time that's happened, and I don't know why. There's plenty of memory in the camera. I don't know. I mean, maybe it has something to do with the fact that I'm using a phone to do a camera's work. Maybe most professional YouTubers would be like, rookie mistake, you moron, you need a camera. Maybe that's it. I said not too long ago that shooting these videos right now is like the high point of my day. So I guess I'm not that pissed off. It's like, well, I'll just get to do it again. I got my cigar with me this time. Got a nice little buzz. So this will be a little lower and slower. I mean, the last video, I rushed through it, and it was still good. It was real good. It was. You'll never see it, but trust me on it. It was tight, and it was 20 minutes. So who knows? This might be 40 minutes of me just wandering around in a verbal circle with my buzz and my cigar. We're going to preview the Miami Marlins. Let me skip to the chase. They suck, in case you didn't know that. Previous video, either we have a lot of Atlanta Braves fans out there, or a lot of G-Lane Maxwell fans. I'm going to say the latter. I find it hard to believe that all my subscribers have been sitting there saying, I cannot wait till he talks about the Atlanta Braves. Seriously, I mean, last video was like 18 views. We've been averaging like 4. I don't blame you. I hardly want to listen to myself talk about the freaking Cleveland Indians myself. What's up with that? They're going to change their name. See, I wandered into dangerous territory. I know some of you watch this just to see if I'll say something cancelable. But why is the Atlanta Braves okay, but the Cleveland Indians not okay? I don't get that. I'm just ignorant. I don't mean to be malicious. I honestly don't know. So, well, what else were we going to talk about? Like I said, I'm trying to recreate this perfect video that I shot. Let me walk behind the camera to make sure it hasn't jammed. Oh, it appears to still be running, so that's good. Judging back to the G-Lane Maxwell thing, for those that jumped in on that, it appears the British press is definitely taking the under, that she will be killed within 35 days in prison. They don't seem in the British press to like her chances. I guess I don't understand. I mean, in the movies, when somebody has some kind of terrible information and they want to protect themselves, they let it be known that it's in a safety deposit box, and should something happen to them, they get hit by a bolt of lightning or are found hanging in their jail cell, then suddenly this information in the safety deposit box gets splashed all over the public. I guess that's just in the movies. Or perhaps she really doesn't have any explosive information. She could say anything, but no one's going to believe it unless she has proof. If she decides it's her mission to sink Donald Trump, she better have some proof. Bill Clinton, same thing. If she's going to say Bill Clinton was involved in all this pedophilia, well, you better have some proof. And I don't like Bill Clinton. and I'm ready to believe the worst about him. But you gotta have some proof. You can't just throw it out there. Oh yeah, he liked it this way and that way with 12-year-olds. You can't just throw that out there. No one should believe that unless she has actual proof, because this is a scummy person that has no credibility, none. She has to have more than just a story. That's just what I think. See, we're already way off what I talked about last time. I think last time I was on a virus rant. No, not this last video. I mean, the one you're never going to see. Anyway, what was I? I was triggered by the piece in The Athletic by Jason Stark that was out today. And I like Jason Stark. Nothing against him. But he interviewed 2 epidemiologists. So my thing with this is, look, there's basically, I guess, 2 ways to address the pandemic. One, which we've kind of sort of not really done, lock yourself in the house until there's a vaccine. Just shut it all down until there's a vaccine. You don't go out. You must, you just don't go out. Quarantine forever until there's a vaccine. And then 2 would be the herd immunity approach. And for whatever reason, every last epidemiologist, at least in the United States, is lockdown only. Herd immunity doesn't exist. That's not a valid approach. Here's the thing. The minute the government declared that mass protests in the streets of hundreds of thousands of people was okay, that they were going to do nothing about it, that was the second it didn't matter what the epidemiologists say. They could say lockdown, lockdown, lockdown all they want. It doesn't matter. The government has already declared we're going for herd immunity. We're going for herd immunity, whether they admit it or not. That's what we're going for. It's just a series of, hypocritical statements by the government. I know, shocking. That, okay to demonstrate by the hundreds of thousands in the streets, but not okay to have a wedding, a funeral, go to church, even open a bar. Not okay. It's like, okay, give me a break. I mean, clearly we're going for herd immunity. It's too late. It's too late. We've already established these protests are okay. These protests are okay. You're not going to stop them. They're going to keep happening. The virus is going to keep spreading. So let's spread it. That was the point of my last video. Let's get where we're going. Obviously, it's herd immunity. That's the goal. And, what triggered me, I think, and I don't want my cigar to go out. When I get on a roll, I forget to take breaths and, smoke my cigar. Well, what triggered me about the Athletic piece was one of these epidemiologists used the word moral, and that pissed me off. It's like as if he has the moral ground. In other words, to lock you down in the house for however long it takes till this pie-in-the-sky vaccination appears, that's the moral approach. One, it's not the approach we're taking. It cannot be the approach we're taking. As I said, the government has already allowed mass gatherings, and whether they admit it or not, herd immunity is the way we're going. Then what's to say that the herd immunity approach is immoral? I don't want more people to die than necessary. I don't think that these guys, these experts, the Faucis of the world, that they know one way or the other. Which way is going to yield more deaths or less deaths? They're assuming there's going to be a vaccine, and I don't think you can just pencil that in and say, absolutely, there's going to be a vaccine. And it's going to be here by Christmas. Okay, I'll take that bet. See, I did it. It went out. I read a piece in Fox. There we go. About the race for the vaccinations. No, it wasn't on CNN. I don't go to CNN. I don't need to be lied to, so I don't go to CNN. Oh, Fox lies to you too. I suppose I just feel more, maybe I can spot the lies easier on the Fox website. That's why I go there. But they talk about phase 3, half a dozen different people that are involved in this race. There was Oxford, China, Modern, something like that, Moderne, in the United States. No dates. Talk about phase 3, whatever the hell that is. Is there a phase 4? I don't know. You know, how long does phase 3 take? They didn't say. So it was all nebulous, all kind of, things always take much longer than you think it's going to take. I was thinking about that from my previous video. I said, well, I think we're doing pretty good here. I think probably 80,000 people, 80 million have it currently. Maybe that number's a little high. I saw Johns Hopkins, they have a website where they're tracking the positive rate. I just used some incredibly small sample size of, here it was, the University of Oklahoma. I think they use those terms interchangeably. I was wondering about that. University of Oklahoma football team was 12.6%. The positive rate that Johns Hopkins is tracking, which is a much larger sample, was 7.5%. So 7.5 would yield a much lower number than 80 million, maybe 60 million. That could be fair too. You know, I said this thing would be over by the election. I think for the most part, the large portion of the positive tests will be over by November. I think it'll hang around in the next year, but thousands and thousands of people aren't going to be tested positive in November. I'm reasonably sure of that. Oh, let's see. Were there any other points I wanted to make here as I'm talking in my circle? I don't know. I think that's basically it. Like I said, that what annoys me about these epidemiologists are that they just think that the lockdown approach is the only way to go, and that's the only moral approach. And I disagree wholeheartedly with that. You know, I don't want people to die needlessly. I honestly think that the herd immunity approach is the way to go, where we're going to get this over, A, faster, and B, less people are going to get killed. That's what I think. And C, not least important, I guess it's a double negative, most important, C, it's the approach we've already chosen. How many people, look, I just came from downtown Reading, Pennsylvania tonight, and there are no George Floyd protests tonight, but I tell you what, any last person that has more than $17 in their bank account has a firework that they're setting off out in public. It's quite the sight, actually. You know, we're driving down just, public streets, and boom, boom, people just all over the place out in the streets setting off fireworks, violating every last, health safety protocol, the government doing nothing. So it's already the approach we've chosen is herd immunity. Let's not be hypocritical about it. It is. It simply is. You can argue, well, that we shouldn't have. It doesn't matter. We've done it. It's already done. It's done. It's not going to change. The government isn't going to suddenly try to tackle crowds of hundreds of thousands of people protesting whatever the heck they're protesting. It's done. It's over. So let's go with it, for Christ's sakes. What the hell is the point of wearing a mask when we're trying to go for herd immunity? But, so that's where I see it. The part in the athletic, these epidemiologists were like, well, the sports are going to have to shut down. I mean, if you have a run of positives on a team, you're going to have to close it down. It's like, why? Why? That's why they have these ridiculously deep rosters. 60-man roster in baseball. Oh, half the, our whole infield's sick. Well, send them over there, next man up. You just sit them over there. They sit there till they test negative, which they will, a week maybe, then they're back. They're immune. No big deal. I mean, as long as these sports leagues don't listen to these one club in the bag epidemiologists, they'll be fine. Who are advocating for something that's already been discarded by the government. The lockdown approach has already been discarded by the government. That horse is left the barn, metaphorically. Horse, where are you? Where'd you go? It's probably been 80 years since there was horses in the sports barn. Enough of that. Let's talk. Oh, I checked the video. Is it still running? Is it still running? Okay, it appears to be. Let's get the Miami Marlins preview in before the thing locks up and I got to do this all over again. Marlins suck. 57 wins last year. That undercame what the experts even thought they would do. They thought they'd win 63 and a half and they got 57. That's not easy to do. I mean, basically the experts said, we think you're going to lose 99 games, which is a hell of a lot of games. And you undercome that. You really suck. This is a team that's, well, over the last 5 years, let's see if I can get this right. Only the Tigers, Reds, Orioles have been worse. Minus 5.8% return on investment. I see no reason to jump on this team's bandwagon. Vegas has a number at 24.5. That expands to 66 over 162, just to give you an idea. So it's apples to apples. 57 wins last year, 66 they're expecting. I don't see it. I don't see it. That's a 9-win improvement. This team is a poorly run franchise. Sorry, Derek Jeter, but it is. I used to live in Missouri for half an hour. Show me. And they haven't. 5 straight years they've chewed money. 5 straight years of losing return on investment. I'm not a big Don Mattingly fan. Let me tell you my Don Mattingly bias. He coached the Dodgers up until at the end of 2015. The Dodgers up until 2015 under Mattingly were, they're a pretty good team. 88, 92 wins, 93 wins maybe. They were good. They aren't great. Once he left, they became crazy good. 100 wins, 105 wins, crazy good. I think some of that's got to fall back on him. Now, in 2015, his last year, they played the Mets in the NLDS. First 2 games are in Los Angeles. The Dodgers, they lose game 1. Now, game 2, it's a very close game. I think the Dodgers might have been down a run. And I forget the exact situation, but I think we're in the 7th inning. Guy on third base, 1 out. Guy on first base, that's Chase Utley. They hit a ground ball. They're going to try to turn 2. If they turn 2, the guy on third, critical run, does not score. So Utley running from first base knows they cannot turn 2. So they don't turn 2 because Utley made sure of that. He put Ruben Tejada into the outfield with a broken leg. Smash! And it was bad. If you haven't seen this, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Bad. I mean, I love Chase Utley. He's my guy. But as soon as I saw it, it was like, oh, Jesus Christ, Chase. It was bad. So they changed the rules after that. I mean, it was that bad they changed the rules. It's like, well, under the current rules, that's legal. We got to fix that. So they changed the rules. The Mets are just beside themselves. The whole city of New York. I mean, they're crazy to get this guy. They don't even know what to do. I Googled, to do the show tonight, because I couldn't remember the name of the guy he killed, Ruben Tejada. I looked it up. I said, who did Chase Utley kill? And up came, Mets fans want to kill Chase Utley and his family. So there was at least one guy went on Twitter and said, I pledge to kill you. And then probably another dozen that were smart enough not to go on Twitter, but were ready to kill him too. So what does Mattingly do? Now the series is shifting to New York. And New York City Field, there's actually a place in the right field corner named for Chase Utley because he's hit so many home runs there. They call it Utleyville, I believe. He's hit so many home runs down in that right field corner, they called it Utleyville for a while. And what does Mattingly do? He benches Utley. It's like, what are you doing? Just let him play. They're so crazy to kill him, they'll forget to play baseball. You'll win these games going away. The Mets will beat themselves. They're just so beside themselves. All you gotta do is just wave Chase Utley at them and they'll get themselves out. But of course, Mattingly, I don't know, thinking, well, God knows what. Well, And of course, then the Dodgers lost the series. And Mattingly was, contract not renewed, fired, whatever you want to call it. And that was it for him. Now he's been banished to Florida where he's done nothing except lose. So I don't have a whole lot of use for Mattingly. I don't think he's a good manager. That seemed obvious to me at the time in 2015. It's like they are so crazy to kill Chase Utley. Just sit him out there. He doesn't care. Do you know Chase Utley at all? You can throw at his head and he's just going to do like Pete Rose, just smile and go to first base. He's just going to do one of those and go to first base. He doesn't care. That's what he wants you to do. Give him a free base. He doesn't care. So, so I'm never forgiven Mattingly for not playing Utley those other games in that series. He deserved to lose by benching him, and he did lose. So that's my story there on Mattingly. Well, check. See, did it shut off? See, we're doing it. It has the exact same memory in it had before. By this point, it's already frozen. I guess it's still running. We better sum up here or we'll freeze. What's left? The Mets, the Phillies, and the Nationals. That's what's left. And then we'll do a sum up video of all the National League teams and the over-unders. And then, then we're almost into real sports, The 4th of July, well, no, we're not. We'll actually still have 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks to, plow through this. But, to all the sports leagues, don't listen to these damn doctors. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. If you ignore them, everything's going to be fine. You listen to them, you're going to create a mess. So, that's my view on that. guess I'll shut this off here before I say something really inflammatory. Thanks for being here. I don't mean to piss you off if I did. Hey, if I pissed you off, put a comment in the comment section. Hey, you know, we're reasonable people. We can discuss it. I'll probably get a comment from Dr. Fauci. Fuck you! You know, something to that effect. Idiot! Murderer! That'd be kind of funny, actually, if I did. Anthony Fauci says murderer. Well, all 17 people that are watching, I doubt that that's going to cause that big of a ripple in the time-space continuum. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, I failed on the raccoon. The raccoon has escaped. He ate the food and had himself a good laugh and disappeared. I'm sure he'll be back. I mean, if he's not back, I win. And really, you know, it's 1-0 him right now. But he's got to be right every time. I just got to be right once. And he'll be, if he doesn't come back, then I win too. Because that's what I want. Just go away. Leave me alone. You know, so I'm hoping he doesn't come back. But we're set. Trap's set. We're ready. It's a blood moon. Bad news for you, Raccoon. Blood moon. I'm ready. Tonight's the night, dude. You're going down. Nothing else to say. We'll talk to you again. Eric Arnold out.